is feeling the pinch after this week's fuel price increase. A whopping R2.76 per litre increase for diesel has become a major concern, especially to farmers. Despite there being ample food produce in storage facilities, farmers will have to fork out even more on diesel for generators to keep cold storage and processing facilities running during power cuts. Agri SA CEO Christo van der Rheede joins us now to discuss this more about this impact on the farmers. Christo, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. It's going to really be tough months ahead for the farming community now with these higher diesel costs, because they use diesel for all sorts of operations.
Indeed, the agriculture sector has really been sort of at the receiving end of these increases. We've seen a massive spike in the price of diesel last year, up to 26 Rand a litre, and now it's going up from 20 Rand 53 cents to approximately 23 Rand and 29 cents. So our farmers face an uphill battle. It's not that they only use diesel for harvesting or for ploughing, but they also now use huge amounts of diesel to keep the lights burning, to keep their cold storage facilities going, to ensure that the processing facilities operate effectively and efficiently. So it's a double whammy for the agricultural sector.
Yeah, is the diesel rebate system that was introduced by government helping farmers enough?
Yes, no, we will never, dismiss the impact that has on the cost of doing business, especially in the agricultural sector. But we want that diesel rebate for government to consider increasing it. It's very difficult for government to, at this point in time, do away with the levies because they factor that into their national budgeting process. But I think consideration should be given to either increase the diesel rebate or to do away with some of these levies, because these levies render South African agricultural sector really, we're at a point where we are rendered not profitable enough. We cannot compete with our counterparts, for example, in Namibia, where the diesel price is far less than that of South Africa. And it also renders us uncompetitive when it comes to our international counterparts. And yes, it's certainly going to have a negative impact on on food inflation and ultimately on the price that consumers pay for agricultural products further down the value chain.
Increasing the diesel rebate, could it really offset some of your cost to an extent that the farming sector will benefit in a way that in the end will also benefit production and us as consumers in an environment where you have load shedding? We're now in stage 6 and we don't even know when that will end.
Yeah, the load shedding level 6 has a very negative impact on irrigation farmers, also for dairy farmers, poultry farmers. It has a very negative impact on our livestock agricultural value chain, because farmers cannot move their cattle because feedlots are fully stocked. Feedlots cannot move it to abattoirs because abattoirs, their cold storage facilities are also full to the brim, and your bigger retail shops are not prepared to take in more carcasses because they don't have enough cold storage facilities, or due to load shedding, it has a negative impact on their ability to sustain particular temperature levels in their cold storage facilities. So it has a tremendous spillover impact on the agricultural value chain. But I think the biggest challenge for us currently is, one, the price of electricity that has gone up. You remember NASA has announced an increase some time ago, but in addition to that, farmers have to fill that void when there's load shedding level 6, They've got tremendous expenditure when it comes to diesel, with the installation of solar panels, also the purchasing of diesel generators, and they're confronted with all kinds of other very negative factors that undermine their profitability, such as they need to take care of their own safety, need to take care of people that come onto farms to vandalize generators and to steal solar panels. So it's not really a very good space that the agriculture sector finds itself in. And this is despite the fact that we've done very good in terms of ensuring enough food supplies, especially grain supplies. We've had a very good year, more than 16 million tons that we've harvested. Also, almost 3 million tons of soya. Yes, and very good, our stock levels are very good, but it just makes it so difficult to remain profitable in circumstances like this.
Christo, will you as Agri SA approach government or the National Treasury in terms of requesting an increase to that diesel rebate?
Indeed. I must say that Treasury has been quite receptive in terms of our proposals. We've also met earlier this year with Minister Toko Didiza, our agricultural minister. She put a task team together. She has recently announced the launch of a agro-energy fund, and that will certainly help our farmers to get a very good loan from and depending on whether they're small, medium-sized or large, they will be able to get a loan, and part of that loan consists of a grant portion, and the other part consists of a loan portion. So I think that's certainly a step in the right direction. We, however, need our private sector financial lenders to come on board so that we ensure food security for the country. And yes, government can look at other tax incentives to sort of relieve this burden and give farmers various forms of relief to continue producing food for the country.
Yeah, despite your admirable efforts, I mean, they are admirable in terms of food security, despite this tough economic environment, there is that inevitability that we need to talk about. I need to ask you, because of the current situation with the diesel going up by 2.76 and the picture that you have painted, consumers will have the extra cost passed on to them.
Indeed, but remember now, farmers are but one part of the agriculture value chain. And farmers are not price makers, farmers are price takers. And farmers often bear the bigger brunt of all of these increases. It's passed on from input suppliers to the farmers. The farmers, at the end, they have to contend with the price that they receive, either from your bigger retailers or your market agents or your agro businesses. And farmers have to contend with national or international commodity prices. So yes, farmers are often at the receiving end, and then throughout the value chain, whether it's the logistic part of the value chain, the processing part, the storage part, the packaging part, the retail part, all of them obviously add their additional cost to the final price of the product, and it's the consumer that then bears the brunt of higher increase.
Thank you very much, Christo van der Rheede, the Chief Executive Officer of Agri SA. Tough time indeed for the farming community with these higher diesel prices from this week, plus other factors, including load shedding, that are really creating havoc in that sector.